experts in driving this forward. The question of using education as the vehicle. This, of course, either way you look at it, would entail funding.
Yeah.
And this is a challenge for most countries in this part of the world. Allocation of resources with so many competing interests. How can this be driven?
Very good. Let's talk about partnership and collaboration. But also, the government must prioritize the so-called limited economic resources. Education is a focal point. It transforms the whole society. A well-informed citizen is a weapon against any tyranny. When you have a well-informed citizens, so look at how much money we spent on security issue. Look at how much money we have spent on defeating fake news. Look at how much time we've done for those billing. If people are well educated, believe me, we'll not spend such money on such things. I want to mention a part of the world where you talk about that culture, the culture of whatever the imam or the bishop says, you don't question it. Go and do this, you go and do that. But if they are well trained and well literate, that is not what your imam or your pastor says that matters, it's what the Quran or the Bible says that matters. And I think there's a section in the Bible where the Bible says, even Paul, people went back to see what he has said is right or wrong. That's what I'm talking about. So we should have that. And that collaboration and that funding, the government, I'm sorry to say, have not been prioritizing education. Education, no amount of investment you spend on education, that is a waste. Somebody said, if you close the wall of classroom, you open the gate to all manner of criminal vices. You see, and Nelson Mandela said, the greatest weapon to fight, to get people, to get a country up is through education. Education is a priority, and so government have to prioritize their spending and focus more on education. And so, like you said, financing, and that is why we are looking at collaborations, partnership. Some countries actually are beginning to see, okay, if you have peace in your country, we have peace here. The issue of migration. Instead of migrating, if you solve their problem, people don't migrate, because if they migrate, they're going to share our resources, cause problem. Let us give them money to do those things. So if we articulate ourselves very well, and then we can begin to talk to people who have donor. We have so many foundations who give money for these things. We have government who to give money for such things. If the does not have enough money, they should also put their own money down, and that is when they can say, okay, we have this on ground, please want to do this, can you give all this? And collaboration is not only about money.
Right.
Expertise is also part of the collaboration. The curriculum development is also part of the collaboration. The lesson learned is also part of the collaboration. The expertise gain is also part of the collaboration. So financing is key, because if you're going to push an idea, philosophy up, you must back up with financing. So the government have to look for it. You see, let me give you an example. When university has a problem of funding, they came to government at the time. Government said, don't have money. They said, okay, don't worry. Who will give you an idea? That's where TED Fund came in. TED Fund. And TED Fund, you see what Intervention TED Fund has done. We can do the same thing here. We can say, okay, let's see, can organize somebody give you ready to give money on this issue. If you prioritize very well, okay, and if they show that there's transparency with that money, and that money is going to be used for what purpose they want to use it for, monitoring, then you see that this money will come up. And like I said, UNESCO is always there to canvas around. You have other bodies who's canvassing around. You have UNICEF, you have government, other government who's canvassing around. So if Nigeria shows seriousness, I can tell you that money will not be an issue.
Well, the Global Week has come to an end.
Yeah.
And on a final cap, what's your takeaway from all of it?
I must commend the government for hosting that week. I must commend the Minister of Information and Culture. He was there truly with us, as if he doesn't have any other thing to do. That's a great commitment. The Permanent Secretary, Information and Culture, the Minister of Digital Media, Mr. Pantami, Professor Pantami, they were all there. You see, and they show commitment. They show, even till the last day. Now, what I've seen is that this has brought up about enlightenment, about what media and information literacy is all about. And this, in a way, has also changed the perspective of government about the way to go about this is not about censorship. It's about multi-stakeholder regulation. And it has also opened the eyes of the Nigerian government that the world is watching us. And that the way we go about these digital platforms and social media platform is we are going to be accountable for it. Now that we have said we have made the Information Literacy Society, we want to come out with a MI Institute. We are working on the institute right now. Now, the government begin to do something like that. No, you are not looking at your word. So in a way, it has made us to be accountable. In a way, it has bring enlightenment. In a way, it has shaping perceptions, idea of people. In a way, it has created awareness. And in a way, it has prioritized that empowerment, which is about MIL, the skill set. And somebody said something. He said, when Nigeria sneezes, the rest of Africa does what? Mm-hmm. Cash is good. Now, the truth is that what has happened in Nigeria is going to affect the rest of Africa. You see, Nelson Mandela said something. He said, the whole Africa look up to Nigeria. And Nigeria, by this, what they have done, I want to thank also Mr. President for giving his assent, and for giving all the backing to it. So you can see that everything was seamless, it was well organized, it was well planned. There was no lacuna. The foreigners were well taken care of to their hotels. And what some of the said? Someone said, Dr. Suraj, is there any way we can shift our citizenship to Nigeria? They saw the intercultural display. It's the acting graceful. It's a program specialist in women. I've been part of it. We go around the whole world together. I've not seen him dance like that before. You see, they saw the culture, the diversity. What they do about Nigeria before is all this bad news. They saw a different ball game. They saw a country that is well organized. So that's what that's about.
Okay, thank you so much.
The good image, the reputation.
Okay. Dr. Olunifesi Suraj, Associate Professor, Department of Mass Communication, University of Lagos, and UNESCO consultant. We'd like to thank you for coming on One-on-One.
Thank you so much.
And we hope we see you again soon
to
discuss these matters of MIL. Thank you.
Thank you so much.